Hello everyone, and welcome to episode number 28 of our Rink-Side with Hits and Clips channel. If you're new to our content, thank you so much for tuning in, as we really appreciate the support. And be sure to check out our podcast over on Spotify for the audio version, as we post all of our updated notifications on our Bluesky account as well. So we really appreciate if you could subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos like this, any content that we produce. If you're new and you don't know what kind of content we make, our channel is entirely hockey related. We cover multiple leagues, including the NHL, the AHL, the OJHL, the PJHL, as well as the CHL. And if you're new to the CHL, well, there's 3 leagues in the Canadian Hockey League. The Western Hockey League in Western North America of Canada and the States. Then we have the Ontario Hockey League, based out of Ontario, and 2 teams in Michigan with 1 team in Pennsylvania, and the QMJHL, the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League, and all those teams are based out of both Quebec and the Maritimes of Canada. So be sure to check out that content as we post multiple videos on a weekly basis. We don't post every single day, but any videos or any finished related content that we've already finished, we'll plan to publish and schedule for a certain day of the week. So be sure to check that out as well. So let's get started. Well, as mentioned at the very beginning of this episode, we are covering episode number 28, and we have named it the AHL Top 8. And pretty much what that means is that we are down to the final 8 teams in the entire AHL, the American Hockey League, fighting for the 2025 Calder Cup. So before I summarize the division finals for the upcoming matchups, we're just going to recap the current matchups that happened in the semifinals for all of these series. So we had 2 Atlantic Division semifinals. It was the Hershey Bears, who defeated the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, winning that series 3-2, and the Charlotte Checkers defeating the Providence Bruins, also winning that series 3-2. Now, I will mention that the semifinals and the upcoming division finals are all a best out of 5 games, and then when we get into the conference finals and then the 2025 Calder Cup finals, those particular series will be a best out of 7. So the semifinals and the division finals are just a best out of 5. So let's recap the first division Atlantic semifinal, as it was the Hershey Bears who defeated the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and it all started on game 1 as the Hershey Bears defeated the Lehigh Valley Phantoms 3-0 to take a 1-0 series lead. On Friday, May 2nd in Hershey, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms defeated the Hershey Bears 3-1, and they tie the series at 1. We go to game number 3 on Sunday, May 4th, and it was Lehigh Valley who came up on top of Hershey, winning that game 4-2, and Lehigh Valley now has a 2-1 series lead. We go to game number 4 on Friday, May 9th in Lehigh Valley, and it was the Hershey Bears who ended up tying the series at 2, winning that game 6-4, which means we will go to a deciding game 5. And on Sunday, May 11th, it was the Hershey Bears who defeated Lehigh Valley. They eliminate the Phantoms from playoff contention, and the Hershey Bears are on their way to the division finals. Well, who was Hershey Bears' opponent in the division finals? Well, as mentioned before, it was the Charlotte Checkers who defeated the Providence Bruins in 5 games, winning that series 3-2. And let's see how that series unfolded. Well, in game 1, Charlotte defeated Providence 5-1 in Providence, taking a 1-0 series lead. On Sunday, May 4th, it was Charlotte who defeated Providence 2-0, taking a 2-0 series lead. Then we go to Wednesday, May 7th in Charlotte, and it was the Providence Bruins who came out on top of the Checkers 3-2, and they make it a 2-1 series at this point. On Friday, May 9th, it was the Providence Bruins who defeated Charlotte 3-2 yet again, but it was in overtime, and now we're going to go to a deciding game 5. Well, on Sunday, May 11th, it was the Charlotte Checkers who defeated Providence 5-2. They win the series 3-2, and they eliminate the Providence Bruins from playoff contention, and you will now officially have the Hershey Bears and the Charlotte Checkers in the Atlantic Division Finals. We're going to move to the North Division semifinals, and those two in particular series, it was the Laval Rockets who eliminated the Cleveland Monsters. And remember, the Cleveland Monsters eliminated the Marlies before, so this time, the Laval Rockets, they are on their way to the North Division Finals, where they will end up taking on the Rochester Americans as they swept the Syracuse Crunch 3-0, and let's just see how those two series unfolded. Well, considering that the Laval and Cleveland game only went to 4 games, on Wednesday, April 30th, it was Laval who defeated Cleveland 3-2 in Game 1, taking a 1-0 series lead. On Friday, May 2nd, for game number 2, Laval shut out Cleveland, winning that game 4-0, and they take a 2-0 series lead. Sunday, May 4th, it was Cleveland who defeated Laval 3-1. They make the series 2-1 in favor of Laval at this point. And then on Tuesday, May 6th, it was Laval who finished off the series. They eliminate Cleveland, and the Laval Rockets will move on to the North Division Finals. Meanwhile, their other opponents, the Rochester Americans, they only went to 3 games as they swept the Syracuse Crunch. As on Friday, April 25th, the Rochester Americans defeated Syracuse 3-2 for Game 1. They take a 1-0 series lead. Sunday, April 27th, Rochester shuts out Syracuse 4-0, taking a 2-0 series lead. And to finish them off, on Thursday, May 1st, it was Rochester who once again swept Syracuse 4-0. So they sweep Syracuse in Game 2 and Game 3, and they sweep the series 3-0. And you will officially now have the Laval Rockets and the Rochester Americans in the North Division Finals. Well, we'll now move to the Central Division semifinals, as it was the Milwaukee Admirals who defeated the Rockford Ice Hogs 3-2, winning that series, as it was also the Texas Stars who move on to the Central Division Finals as they eliminate their opponents, the Grand Rapids Griffins, as they sweep them in the series 3-0. Well, for the Milwaukee and Rockford series in Game 1 on Thursday, May 1st, it was Rockford who defeated Milwaukee 3-2 in overtime, and they take a 1-0 series lead. On Saturday, May 3rd, it was Rockford who just crushed Milwaukee 6-1, and they now take a 2-0 series lead at this point. We shift over to Rockford on Wednesday, May 7th, and it was Milwaukee who got the best of Rockford in this game as they defeated the Ice Hogs 6-2, and they make the series 2-1 in favor of Rockford at this point. We moved to Friday, May 9th for game number 4, and it was Milwaukee who got the better of the Ice Hogs 3-2, and they take a 3-1 series lead. And on Friday, May 9th, it was Milwaukee who got the better of Rockford, winning that game 3-2. They tie the series 2-2 at this point. It means we'll need a deciding game 5. And on Sunday, May 11th, the Milwaukee Admirals defeat the Rockford Ice Hogs 4-3 in overtime. So what a comeback by Milwaukee, as they were originally down 2-0 in this series. Rockford wins their first 2 games, Milwaukee wins the next 2 games, and then what a comeback by Milwaukee as they make it a final series, and Milwaukee will head to the Central Division Finals, awaiting their opponent of the Texas Stars and the Grand Rapids Griffins. Well, they will officially now take on the Texas Stars as they swept the Grand Rapids Griffins in 3 games, as on Tuesday, April 29th, it was Texas who shut out Grand Rapids 4-0. On Monday, May 5th for Game 2, it was Texas who took this game as well, winning the game 4-2, and then to close out Grand Rapids on Friday, May 9th, in double overtime, the Texas Stars eliminate the Grand Rapids Griffins with a series sweep of 3-0. They win the game 3 in double overtime, and there is your official Central Division final matchup. You will have the Milwaukee Admirals and the Texas Stars. We will now move on to the last 2 semifinal matchups of the Pacific Division, and it was the Colorado Eagles who eliminate the San Jose Barracuda, winning that series 3-1 in 4 games, and it was also the Abbotsford Canucks who eliminate the Coachella Valley Firebirds as they also win that series in 4 games, winning the series 3-1. Well, for the Colorado Eagles and San Jose Barracuda series, on Friday, May 2nd, the Colorado Eagles defeated San Jose 6-3, and they take a 1-0 series lead. On Sunday, May 4th, it was San Jose who came out on top in overtime, winning the game 2-1, and they tie the series at 1 apiece. On Tuesday, May 6th, it was Colorado who once again takes their series lead back as they defeat San Jose in overtime, and they win that game 3-2. They have a 2-1 series lead at this point, and to close out San Jose, on Wednesday, May 7th, Colorado defeats San Jose in Colorado, finishing that game 3-1, and they win the series 3-1. So now Colorado will wait upon their opponents, the Abbotsford Canucks or the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Well, in Game 1 of the Abbotsford and Coachella Valley series on Thursday, May 1st, the Abbotsford Canucks defeated Coachella Valley 3-1, and Abbotsford takes a 1-0 series lead. Saturday, May 3rd, in overtime, Coachella Valley, they pull out a 5-4 victory, and they tie the series at 1 apiece. We move to Wednesday, May 7th for game number 3, and it was Abbotsford who defeated Coachella Valley 3-1. They take a 2-1 series lead, and then to finish off Coachella Valley on Friday, May 9th, the Abbotsford Canucks eliminate the Coachella Valley Firebirds, and there is your official Pacific Division Final Series matchup. You will now have the Colorado Eagles and the Abbotsford Canucks. Well, there you have it. We now are down to our final 8 teams remaining in the AHL playoffs, fighting for that 2025 Calder Cup. We'll have the Hershey Bears, the Charlotte Checkers, the Laval Rockets, the Rochester Americans, the Milwaukee Admirals, the Texas Stars, the Colorado Eagles, and the Abbotsford Canucks. Now, before we close out this episode, let's just break down the series schedule for all of these matchups in case any of you are interested in watching or even attending any of these games. So let's start with the Atlantic Division Final matchup between Hershey and Charlotte. On Friday, May 16th at 7 p.m., the Hershey Bears will take on the Charlotte Checkers, with Charlotte having home advantage. Game 2 will take place on Saturday, May 17th at 7 p.m. in Charlotte. We'll shift over to Hershey for the next 2 games for Game 3 and 4. Game 3 will take place on Wednesday, May 21st at 7 p.m. And then if needed for Games 4 and 5, Game 4 will take place on Thursday, May 22nd at 7 p.m. And Game 5 will take place on Saturday, May 24th at 7 p.m. In terms of the North Division Final Series between Laval and Rochester, Game 1 will take place on Wednesday, May 14th at 7:05 p.m. with Rochester having home advantage for the first 2 games. Friday, May 16th at 7:05 p.m., Laval will take on Rochester for Game 2. On Wednesday, May 21st, Game 3 will be taking place. And Friday, May 23rd, if necessary, at 7 p.m., Rochester will be in Laval. And then for Game 5, also in Laval, Game 5 will take place on Sunday, May 25th at 4:30 p.m. In terms of the Central Division Final Series between Milwaukee and Texas, Game 1 will take place on Thursday, May 15th at 7 p.m. in Texas, Sunday, May 18th at 7 p.m. in Texas for Game 2, Game 3 and 4 in Milwaukee, Wednesday, May 21st at 7 p.m. for Game 3, if necessary, Game 4 on Friday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. in Milwaukee, and then if necessary for Game 5 in Milwaukee on Sunday, May 25th at 6 p.m. And then for our final Division Final Series, it will be in the Pacific Division, the Colorado Eagles and the Abbotsford Canucks. Game 1 will take place on Friday, May 16th at 7 p.m. with Abbotsford having home ice advantage. Sunday, May 18th at 6 o'clock p.m. in Abbotsford for Game 2. Wednesday, May 21st at 7:05 p.m. in Colorado for Game 3. If necessary, Game 4 will take place on Friday, May 23rd at 7:05 p.m. in Colorado. And then, if necessary as well, in Colorado again for Game 5 on Monday, May 26th at 3:05 p.m. So there are your final division series for all of these matchups and your schedule for all of these series as well. Who are you rooting to take home the Calder Cup this year? Are you rooting for the Eastern Conference? Are you rooting for the Western Conference? It's going to be pretty tight because we have a lot of dominant competitors out there. But in the meantime, thanks everyone for tuning into this episode number 28. We really appreciate your support. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Spotify for our podcast version, as well as on Bluesky for all of our latest up-to-date notifications. We are also hoping to release a new social media platform, if not this summer, come the fall. We're hoping to grow our audience as much as possible, so spread the word. If you love hockey or if you know anyone who loves hockey, Tell us about our channel. We would love to interact with anyone that we come across on our channel, and we always appreciate the support and the interactions. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you again soon.